Bob, I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah.
Again, it's nice seeing you again. This is my cousin, Bob Hacker, and today I'm not here to see you on Family Matters. No, I'm not talking about the TV show either. I'm actually here to represent a startup pop-up business that that my company that I'm representing has created in the new online virtual world. We are called the Remote Virtual Comfortability Exchange. And you, who's someone who is in a market that has already dealt with a lot of in-home or virtual work experience. But of course, with the exchange the last years of COVID, that has probably drastically changed for you. And that's kind of why I'm here. I just want to hear a little bit about more of your company and some of your peers, if you want to give me some of your insight on that, on how your company's adapted, not just as their work, but adapted with their employees to change from that in-person, if whatever work was conducted, into the virtual world. So if you really just want to give it a start out with the first question. If you want to just give us a quick brief background of what you do and where you work at.
Yeah. So, again, my name's Bob. I work for Bayshore Mortgage Funding. I'm a mortgage loan officer, or MLO for short. Basically, my job is to take an interview of an applicant, somebody looking to either buy a home or refinance one, and figure out what their goals are, and then also figure out what their financial situation is, from assets to income, debt load, credit score, and then assess that entire situation and find loan options to fit their goals or accomplish their goals and fit their financial situation.
So you have to, it'd be safe to say that you have to create a good client-customer based relationship.
Oh, definitely.
And again, with COVID, that's probably taken away some of maybe the good aspects, even just giving a good old in-person charming.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, for a while there, we really weren't meeting anybody in person, so it took away the ability to network, which is a big part of the job.
So with that change, how much has your company needed to adapt initially from the in-person to more the remote location virtual world, and how some of those changes still carried on to today and adapted to your workflow today?
Sure. So the largest thing that initially changed was that not necessarily just working from home, but not being able to go to a closing where a client was going to sign their closing paperwork, and maybe the seller was going to be there, the agents were going to be there, your title company was hosting, and being able to introduce yourself and say hi and everything like that, to where that whole part of the job kind of disappeared for a while. That part has come back since the lockdown's kind of gone away. But as far as the rest of the job goes, the biggest thing was trying to make a home office space for yourself that would allow you to be productive and still get things accomplished. We were fortunate enough to have an extra room here at our home where we haven't filled it with a child or other things yet, that we call it our office. And so we kind of have that, but both me and my wife have to potentially share that space. So setting up things in there that are going to be helpful for not just me, but her. The biggest change for that I've noticed for myself and other employees is getting things like an additional monitor set up so that you can be more productive. As a lot of studies have shown, people will be more productive with 2 monitors rather than just one. Having a nice place to sit, and then it not being cluttered is another, but really making it as close to the working environment as possible.
And has your company gone any of the extra mileage to make this suitable change for its employees, from the work-life transition to a major switch of the remote location? Also, consideration of each employee is different, and the individual of also where they live as well, or have the ability to promote that remote at home work life.
Sure. My company, for the most part, has not gone out of its way like I've seen other companies do, or have heard of other things where they have, promoted where they are. Now, my wife's company is giving them a $75 a month stipend towards things that will make their home work life more advantageous. My company's not necessarily done anything for that, but given me the freedom to choose those items for myself, whether that's getting my own fax service, setting up my own e-signing service, and giving me the freedom to where our compliance department is not overbearing in that manner where I can have a lot of control. And it's more so almost like being contracted in that regards, where I do get a lot of the freedom, and I think the freedom is a large trade-off for, rather than use our use our computer, use our monitor, use our chair, use our printer, use our fax service, anything like that. If anything, it's given me more freedom than anything.
All right. Well, my next question is, again, with the perspective of yours, and maybe if you've heard from any of your peers, has the company shown any regards to the employee as an individual of that work life, considering more so of their health and also the quality health of their work that they're producing? Has there been any changes of either of yours that you could see, or the quality of your other peers and colleagues of the quality of their work, or just even like with their time management skills, from that in person or in office, or totally not even in office and already some of those that have only been in the remote world?
Yeah, I would say a large portion of what we've seen is additional productivity or additional sales, and that coming from the extra free time. We're not tied up in meetings. We have eliminated a commute each way to work. Lunch break, if you do want to go out to lunch, you certainly can, but being close to that full kitchen with everything there is advantageous.
What's up?
And as you can see, of course, when anything happens in the home life, you gotta adapt
No,
to
the one I
it.
posted is 401. That one.
But
So the one
onto-
that I just now posted in the chat.
On to my next question. I do just want to present a fact
I
about
copied and pasted it from
Amanda.
this Zoom. So I'm sorry. Just stay in here. Stay here. Yep.
Amanda, you go upstairs, we're recording something.
I've got to get my charger first.
Okay.
Did I get my hand?
um
If I pull it right now, it's gonna die. So you gotta give me 2 minutes when I can.
okay, what is that? So one of the biggest importance to have that healthy workforce for a company is focusing on the individual. Do you feel that the consistency of where you've done your work has changed? And if so, have you ever taken into consideration of how it's been affecting you, and not just the sense of the quality of the work that's being produced?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. As far as and how it's impacted me, it's certainly given me more free time, which I think is definitely healthy. One of the big things we talk about, in our industry, but in others, has always been work-life balance. Our industry, not necessarily just being mortgage loans, but sales in general. A lot of sales jobs require you to put in a 40, a 65-hour, or 80-hour work week, especially when you're getting started to ramp up production and get to where you want to be and where your goals need to be, and during that whole learning process. So once you have accomplished that, of course, there is that additional flexibility. And what I found, what's nice is that, we can really put that anywhere, that extra time, whether it's with family or having to put in additional phone calls with customers at odd hours of the day. Having that flexibility where you can be clocked in really for 16 hours, but only have to put in 8 hours worth of work has been the biggest advantage, and it all comes back to kind of eliminating that commute to where you're always right there at work.
Exactly. And of course, as we just see, adapting to where your work is conducted, as we had a lovely visitor. And just right there, that's another point that our company is honing in on, is that within the conditions of going into the in-person or into the job, or whether you have a meeting, you're going to be going into the boardroom or whatever your average setting is there's that, not just a predictability, but for a fact and consistency of how you're going to be conducting your work. And basically the structure of a desk, there's going to be a table, you're going to be sitting next to somebody, it's going to be individualized, you're going to have a cubicle, so on and so forth, that you also eliminate the chance of moving yourself to where you can move where you can move and do your work. Can't just pick up your monitor at your cubicle and move over to the couch lounge and start picking up the work and plug everything in. And that does take a toll and an effect on people's focus and take them out of place and really take them out of that work environment and brings them back into the home environment. Of course, you get a little bit more off track, and as you guys just said, taking that commute and other factors, a 16 into an 8, being clocked in and being there, you're already taking half the time of what was needed per se. But if you're going to already have to cut the time in half of what it may seem, that may not totally be true if you're already having to rearrange yourself by your movement of moving your work, because you know you have that flexibility and freedom. Would you say that an interest of the individual of how things have transitioned, and even more so of a personal life, as you can see you're redoing your kitchen in your house, that having a knowing structure set up, that if you go and sit down, that first 3 minutes you can already be honed in? Because the first thing you always want to get, would you say, and feel, that is comfortability.
Yeah, definitely. There's, the last thing you want to do is go and sit on a construction cone and use that as your desk to sit on for 8 hours. You want to be comfortable where you can be, and that's not just from a sitting standpoint, but also with your surroundings in general.
Yeah, another thing that our company does want to promote is posture, and posture, of course, in the health sense, but also with these virtual communication meetings, or per se you're having to do recordings for people, that you need to have a chair that can focus, or a couch, or whatever chair that can fit your needs. So as you see, we don't have any armrests on these, or you can have a chair with lower armrests because you have a keyboard that slides out. Do you feel that having more ability to suit your needs could suffice them faster? Having a product or a company backing you to supply you the tools to create that comfortability into the work environment faster in your own home?
Yeah, certainly. Taking one more item off your plate to go from searching for an item to knowing that if you could express your needs to a company, that they would tell you, hey, we have a solution to that, is always more advantageous. I found, if you were to take that to anything and, go from shopping from mortgage company to mortgage company, if you could come to me and I could say, well, here's the way that it works here is we do wholesale mortgage lending, and instead of going and having to shop at bank 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to price you out on the New York Loan Exchange and find out what our 40 different investors, and some of those investors might be banks you would have gone and priced out with, are going to turn around and tell me who's going to give you the best deal, and then I'm going to do that deal for you. So just taking the shopping out of it, I think that's a good correlation to kind of what you're saying there is, hey, I'm coming to you, you go do all the hard work for me, come back and give me the solution, whether that solution's a mortgage or office equipment, is either way going to be advantageous. It's going to be a time saver for sure.
So that's a very great point. That is really what our company wants to promote and give the ability to other companies, or even just the individual customer, that individual person that has their own eBay account or a Pinterest, or just has their own individual home business, that even that single company, every employee that will be using one of our products, they are still also in their own category of a single customer. But we will also want to give them the adaptability through only one company, not knowing that, we can suffice your needs, but needs change as a day to day, even month to month, year to year, whatever it so be, and then the needs to adapt in the long run and not changing. Would you say that something in this sense, if your company would offer it, it would be an immense change in the long run for you and any of your coworkers?
Yeah, I would say that, when you take out all the additional work that would come with it, and you replace that with, here's a quick solution and here's also opportunity, yeah, I think that would have a huge impact. Whether it's a desk, whether it's a chair, whether it's shoes, if it's wallpaper, whatever it may be, being able to take that out and creating your place of zen for work, and whether that zen is Metallica playing in the background or Beethoven, is that's up to the individual. But having a company like that in place that could do those things and find out what your needs are specifically would be huge.
Awesome. Well, I'd say I want to again thank you for your time. Probably used up all your time. I just really want to again appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
my pleasure.
I hope that that what I was trying to see and the answers that I got were helpful for not just me, because it was very helpful, but also helpful for you. And I hope that here soon you'll be hearing from me, and I'll be hearing back from you.
Yeah, most
right.
definitely.
All right, thank you again.
Thank you.